Commodore 64 presents a Playguide and video review. Sit back and enjoy the show. It's Star Trek.
Hey there once again, welcome to another Lemons 64 Playguide and review.
Command the Enterprise. Play Star Trek.
This time we'll be checking out Star Trek, released in 1982 by Sega and released on the Commodore 64 as well as other platforms.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Let's begin by checking out the arcade version first of all, and this was released in the arcades 1982.
Entering Sector 1.4.
We can return to the base at any point to collect some more shields and some more torpedoes, and then it's off to fire the lasers and the torpedoes in this game, and the torpedoes actually have a range which appears as a circle on the map.
Entering Sector 2.1.
Every fourth mission will be cast into what looks like an asteroid belt where we're supposed to blow up something, and once we've blown that thing up then hopefully we'll move on to the next level by chasing after it, and that thing will drop mines around all over the place as you can see.
Entering Sector 2.2.
The arcade game is a very fast and a very fun title, but it's also pretty difficult as well, and by the time you get to this stage it's a swamp of enemies all crowding around. On the C64, this crack opens with this page, which looks very official, but it isn't, and we also get some nice messages as well, which helps us with the game and gives us some tips. Before we also get a very nice screen showing Captain Kirk and Spock. On the title page, we don't really get much out of the SID chip, but what we really do get is 1983 Sega, and this was released apparently on a cartridge, but this is the tape version I'm playing right now, so let's check that out. And as you can see, our base is under attack straight from the get-go. We'll have to line up those aliens and shoot the Klingons out into space using our pulse laser and also our photon torpedoes. We don't get any voice speech sample sound effects in this version, unfortunately, but what we do get is a very fast arcadey section where we blast all the Klingons away, and then we get this mine lane section which isn't very fun, to chase after that thing and hope that you get a shot on target. Instead of Leonard Nimoy saying 0.4, we actually get it on the screen every 4 levels, and that basically means that we're going on to 1.1. We can always return to a base to collect some more shields, which is the yellow bar. You can see on the readout we have 4 shields. We also have 4 photon torpedoes, which are in red, and I think our fuel is also in blue, and we can recharge all of those by returning back to the docking station. In the meantime, at the beginning of every single level, you'll find Klingon warships attacking those, so the first thing to do is to get rid of them, so you can access those docking stations. And that's maybe leaving Sector 1.4, I'm not quite sure, but these are really racking up there as we move through the game, and this is certainly much easier than the arcade experience, even though this is more or less the same. Once we've gotten rid of the Klingon warships, then we'll have to get rid of the birds of prey as well, which are flying around guarding the area, and so you'll have to line those things up, and you can't shoot the bases, but you can shoot photon torpedoes around them, which should get the enemy on the other side. By holding down fire and pushing forwards, we can also enter warp speed, which warps us around at turbo speed, just like the arcade version, and there are no shields in warp because you don't need them, but you can travel straight through all of the bases and all of the enemies as well. When you're in warp, you are invulnerable, but then you have to stop to shoot them. So you can do that, hold down the fire and push forward. If you hold it down and pull back, that will fire a photon torpedo, and so single fire button controllers have been dealt with in this game. You can see on the cover art for the original Commodore 64 cartridge, this was released by Sega, and Sega love their cartridges, of course, because they can't be nicked, but apparently this is the tape version, not quite sure. You can see that the Klingons are actually looking down at the Enterprise if you look at the Atari version, which is a more zoomed out version of that cover art, which is brilliant. And it gives us an attack, and especially after Star Trek The Wrath of Khan was released, people really wanted a high attack game released in the arcades. This was released before Star Wars, which was released a year later, and so this really took the credit for being a high action vector based game before Star Wars came along and basically dominated that market. And on the C64, it's a competent effort, and it's fast and it's furious, and it's certainly not a write-off, and it's quite fun playing this game. This was released on a multitude of platforms, including the Apple II, the Atari 800 machine, the Atari 5200 machine, the TI 99-4A, and even the VIC-20, as well as a few others, but this is the Commodore 64 version that we're seeing right now. And I wasn't aware of any of these versions or this game before last week when I discovered it by messing around in Mame, and I discovered this quite by accident. As we're leaving Sector 4.4, you can see we have no shields left, and the original coder of this game, the creator, was Wolf McNally, and Wolf McNally moved on to Mr. Robot and his Robot Factory, which was released on all those platforms, and also Inherit the Earth appeared on the 16-bit platforms. Apart from the sound effects not really matching up, and apart from the null speech sound effects, which would have added a lot to this, you can see that everything else is present, including a yellow diamond which appears. I'm not quite sure what that does, maybe it just gives us a range and a heading, but that moves around the ship just like the arcade version. I couldn't find any scores for this, but the Lemon C64 crew gave this 6.7 out of 10. I'd say that this is worth 7 just for its playability. If it had better music, then it would have been worth even more, and with the sound effects, this could have been a classic. Unfortunately, it isn't a classic, and as you can see, I died because I got shot just as I was about to go into that base. I think this is a really good game, a hidden gem on the Commodore 64, and worth checking out. So thanks once again, and see you in the next one.